YouTube, what is going on? It's your boy Blue J 10. I am back again with another one, man. The price of progress is pain. And I just want to start by saying that if it does not challenge you, more than likely it is not going to be worthwhile. And I'm talking strictly in terms of progression goals and really trying to reach a certain point of stability in life. This has nothing to do with relationships or anything outside of being successful. If you do not have to mentally lock in order to complete that task or that goal, then 9 times out of 10, it is not worth your time or your energy. And I'll say that because anything that I've done in my life, anything that I may have accomplished, whether it was a goal or even a hard task, if it was easily attainable, if I overcame that challenge easily, it more than likely did not last long. And I don't know about y'all, but I would much rather spend my time trying to pursue things that are more worthwhile, things that are going to benefit me in the future, rather than things that are just giving me short-term gratification that are going to pass with the wind. But in order to get somewhere in life, you have to be somewhere mentally so that you can utilize this form of consciousness to the best of your advantage. And one thing that I feel like so many people don't talk about in terms of being present is not only the fact that you are actually living in the moment and you're focusing on today, but you're faced with reality as it presents itself. The pain that you may go through trying to reach difficult goals is the same pain that you would feel in this moment if you learn how to accept reality for what it was. If you didn't spend as much time running away from certain challenges or things that put you in an uncomfortable position that question or make you question yourself, things that you may need to face. All of these things work in your favor in the long run if you just understood the concept of persisting. You have to feel something in order to gain something. Not only do you need to feel something, but you need to sacrifice something. And a lot of the times, it's the time, it's the effort, it's the energy that we sacrifice in order to acquire the things that we may want in life. But just because you sacrifice, your time or your energy doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be rewarded in the way that you may want to be rewarded. And this was like a tough one for me to accept because you can spend a lot of your life working towards your goals, but if God does not have the same plan for you, then things will go in a totally different direction than you ever would have imagined. But ultimately, it's just God trying to save you from things that are just not meant for you. Saving you from a lifestyle that's not meant for you to live, saving you from people and experiences that you in reality just do not need to experience. In order to succeed, your desire for success needs to be greater than your fear of failure. Because it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter the household you were raised in, and if you're more prone, may have good genetics, none of that matters. At some point in your life, you will fail. At some point in your life, you will experience some form of pain that makes you question your ability to proceed or keep going. And as you grow and over time, as you constantly get over this fear of failure, you become more resilient. You become more confident in your ability to actually succeed, and you focus less on this version of failure that you may have been afraid of earlier. So really just take the time to understand that it's not necessarily about failure itself. It's more so about transitioning from this fearful way of thinking into a more resilient, into a more confident way and a confident approach in your ability to make success happen for you. There are roughly 18 different types of pain, but the ones that we feel in terms of progression is emotional pain. This is why we feel a sense of embarrassment or a sense of sadness, anxiety whenever we may be placed in a position where we don't get the results that we want. But just because you experience this form of emotional pain does not mean that you can't overcome it. Really, it can be used to your best advantage because you should be more conscious of the fact that just because you're feeling this way now, it does not mean that you can't go out and chase this form of success that you want to change this feeling. Embrace the low times because they are not going to last forever. Embrace the pain that you may feel because tomorrow you can win. And your feelings and your emotions can be totally different than how they are today. That's why I never sit in sorrow. That's why I never sit in the well on those feelings that I may have at that present moment, simply because I know how quickly feelings pass. I know that as humans, we experience hundreds of different emotions a day. So why would I allow myself to be fully consumed and invested on this one specific emotion that I may be feeling at this moment because I failed? It wouldn't make no sense. The price of progress really is pain. And I'll never forget when I was sitting in my rack on the USS Ronald Reagan in roughly 2019. And for y'all who don't know, the USS Ronald Reagan is just an aircraft carrier, part of the Navy. I remember when I was landing my rack, I used to dread each and every day. I used to wake up and just think about why I didn't want to be there. I was focused so much on the negatives, and I wasn't thinking at that very moment what was to come. I didn't know what the future had in store for me. And then I started praying and I started doing more research, and then I really started to turn those negative emotions into positive emotions, understanding that right now, how I feel at this very moment, I will not feel a year from now when I get out, or a couple months when I'm not in this same position. So then I started using everything to the best of my advantage of being as positive as possible, because one thing that I could not stop was time. No matter who you are, no matter what you go through, you cannot stop time. And even in the hardest versions, the hardest points of your life, time is going to continue to pass. So you cannot allow yourself to be stuck in this dreadful moment when you know that as long as you just give yourself some time, you will feel better. As long as you give yourself a moment, you will overcome this feeling of pain, this feeling of anxiety or sadness that you are feeling. But what it really all boils down to at the end of the day is, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to go through? What are you willing to sacrifice to get to this form of success that you may want? Like I said, in my situation, I was willing to sacrifice my freedom to get this version of success that I wanted. Would I go back and do it again if I was placed in the same position? 1,000%. Because I understand that those temporary pain, that temporary feeling that you may feel at that moment is going to pass. But the end goal, what you get from putting in that work, what you get from sacrificing that time, is way more worthwhile than the feelings that you may be feeling at that very moment. Learn how to put your feelings to the side. Any emotions, any extra expressions, or anything that may be trying to pull you away from going to do the things that you know you should be doing, I don't want to say they should be ignored, but they should be monitored slightly. Just take the attention away from them. Because if you allow yourself to dwell in your emotions, then you'll never go out and conquer anything in the world. Everybody that I've known that went out and became great, they had to put their feelings aside. They had to accept pain. They had to consciously understand that you have to go through certain things in order to get certain things in return. And with that being said, like I said, it just boils down to how bad you want it. So my question to y'all is, how bad do you want to be successful? What are you willing to give up? What pain are you willing to endure in order to get the lifestyle that you want to live? And once you understand what you have to sacrifice, you will be much more open to sacrificing those things, because you're not going to question, or you're not going to be confused about certain things that you have to go through. You're more accepting to this version of pain. You're more open through going through these phases and going through these certain experiences that are going to get you to that level that you want to be in. But it all starts with you not only being present, but you being open to this thought of failing, open to this thought of going through these harsh times, because I promise you they will not last forever. But really just keep in the back of your mind that in order to get somewhere, you have to be somewhere. You have to be mentally present. You have to get yourself together on the inside before you can even endure the hardships that come with trying to be great. Because if you're not put together mentally, then all you're going to do is face these problems. You're going to realize that you're just not ready for it. You're going to quit. You're going to run from anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or makes you vulnerable, because you're not conscious enough of the benefit or what's going to happen if you just persisted through those hard times. So take the time today to really persist. Take the time today to understand what's on the other side of pain, and the consequences of actually sacrificing your time and doing what you need to do to get what you want out of your life. But nobody is going to do it for you. You have to be the one willing to give up 8 hours of your day, or to work hard right now, because you know a year from now it'll all pay off. None of us knows what the future has in store for us, but the more you're working, the more likely you are to be successful, the way that I look at it. So why not dedicate the time now while you're young, while you have the ability to work and do what you need to do to get the life that you want to live. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue J Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.